Our next guest is Mr. Cory Michael Sanchez. He's like the co-founder of Mojo Global. Now, this is an award-winning company, and Cory's been helping start up small businesses for years to generate leads on LinkedIn. Okay, so we're just going to hand over. Cory, can you hear me, please?
I can hear you. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, can hear you very clearly. We're going to hand over to Cory now, and he's going to teach you some stuff. Okay.
All right. Well, hey, thanks for having me, Jonathan. Excellent to be here. And right now I'm coming to you from Mexico City, where I'm traveling for 12 months. Traveling for 12 months, 12 different cities with my wife. We just
Oh,
got married in
wow.
June. And this is the cool thing about the age that we live in these days, is that you could be almost anywhere, operate your business anywhere. This is one of the reasons I love LinkedIn, because you anytime you want business or new business or deals to close, just go to LinkedIn, and you could be anywhere, right? There was a time about 7 years ago. It was about 7 years ago. No, more than that. It was about 8, 9 years ago, where I used to go to networking events to get business. And if you've been in business long enough, I'm sure you've done that as well. We used to go to this thing called Network After Work, and also there's some other networking events, and that's how we used to drum up business. And it was very difficult. It was time consuming, because every networking event took about 3 hours to go to, and it was sometimes great and sometimes it wasn't. So all in all, we had to figure out a way to actually drum up business whenever we wanted. That didn't actually rely on us spending so much time doing that. And because we were about to get burned out. And that's the last thing you want as a business owner, because, it's hard enough being a business owner, but doing it when you're not really enjoying what you're doing, that creates that makes it even harder than it really should be. So that's when we set our sights on LinkedIn, and we discovered LinkedIn. And I got to tell you guys, it's for us like Disneyland. It's the best place for getting business whenever you want. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. And just so you guys kind of know a little bit about who I am and what we've done. My business partner and I, his name is Ira Rosen. He's been an entrepreneur for about 50 years. So we teamed up about a decade ago. And since then, we've helped our customers get over 513,000 appointments, all from LinkedIn, which we're very proud of. And we actually got featured in Forbes for doing that. So what I want to do is share a little bit about the secrets behind how we did that and what that looks like, if that's okay with everybody. All right. So let's go ahead and dive in. Can you hear me okay, Jonathan? I just want to make sure everything's coming in
I
loud and
can hear
clear.
you very clearly. Everything's coming back clearly.
Okay,
Can
perfect.
you hear me?
So I'm going to
Good.
go for it. Okay, cool. So I'm going to share my slides a little bit. So I'm going to do that. And okay, can you guys see my slides okay? Let me see. Share screen, and there we go. Okay, perfect. So I'm going to share a little bit about why there's a gold mine in LinkedIn for everybody, okay, and how you can tap into it. Now, here's the huge opportunity for you when it comes to LinkedIn, right? Because this is what we do on a daily basis. We show people how to close massive deals from LinkedIn. Also, how to build a list, right? Everybody talks about building a list. I think that's super important. You guys know it's important as well. So we're going to show you guys how to do that, and also how to build an email list, right? So not only LinkedIn connections, but also an email list. And some people actually, once they discover LinkedIn, they're like, wow, this is such a great opportunity. I'd love to know how to do this and actually get paid to help other people grow their LinkedIn business, or help grow their business through LinkedIn, right? So that's big. And just so you guys know, I'm going to share something with you guys. This is, just some of the transactions that we've done through LinkedIn. We charge recurring monthly memberships. So every time we do a deal with LinkedIn or deal through LinkedIn, we're getting paid every single month. So these are like what our credit card statements look like. So you can see here $14.90. This is a $14.90 package that comes in every single month, right? So keeping going here, this one was for 10,000. Sometimes we get the year up front. Right? These are deals that we actually do through LinkedIn. This one was for $5,000, right? Keeping going here, this one was for $4,000, and this one's for 3,200. So, the question becomes is, how does this happen? How do you actually build that kind of revenue through LinkedIn? Because a lot of you guys have heard about LinkedIn. You probably might even have a LinkedIn profile, but probably never done anything with it. and you're not alone, because so many people have LinkedIn profiles, never done a single thing with it. And I talk to very smart, very highly talented internet marketers all the time that they have a LinkedIn profile, never looked at it, never done anything with it. So what I'm here is I'm a huge advocate. I want to change all that, right? I want to change it and make it so that way you can get your next deal here in the next 30 days on LinkedIn, and maybe even more than that, right? Maybe in the next week, right? Because here's the problem with most businesses is that your business is broken. Because, and this is what we experience a lot of businesses, they don't have enough leads and appointments. Okay. Now we're talking about LinkedIn. So if you're listening to this, I got to imagine that you've identified LinkedIn as a potential opportunity for you, meaning that it's got the kind of leads that you want, right? And B, LinkedIn's a little bit more B2B focused, which I'll talk about in just a second, right? But you don't have enough leads and appointments. You're selling to businesses with no money. You're using methods that don't work, which means the methods that you're using to get leads, to prospect, to close deals, they're not working, or they're taking a lot more effort than you really thought they would, right? A lot of times people in the industry, right, internet marketers and all that stuff, I won't name names, but they tell you how easy something is. Oh, it's just push button easy. And then you find out, oh my gosh, it's not that easy, right? Well, I'm going to share with you just a little bit of secrets on how LinkedIn can actually be easy and something that you can do every day to get business. And then it becomes where, okay, like there's just so much out there. I don't know where to trust. I mean, this thing looks good. This thing looks good. Like, what do I actually do? So I want to clear all that up for you guys here. And Jonathan, who introduced us, he wanted us to be on because he heard, about the stuff that we've done. We ourselves have developed 7 figures in recurring revenue per year. We featured in Forbes magazine, helped our customers book over 513,000 appointments, and we've created lots of software. So, and we're considered a top 1% influencer by LinkedIn. So let's get down to it, guys. I'm only going to share, I've only got, 10 minutes, 15 minutes here. So we have a small time scale, but I'm going to pack this in with some really good details for you. Now, a lot of times people will tell you, okay, you need all this stuff, right? You need like Bing, and you need, you like Pinterest, right? That you need Facebook, you need Google ads, Facebook ads, right? You need the Twitters. You need to have your channel on YouTube rocking, right? And so a lot of people talk about a lot of things, but here's the deal. You don't need all of that, okay? All you really need is the one thing that every business needs, right? So do you know what that is? Well, you need new customers. You need new customers and new business, right? But in order to get there, right, there's one thing that you need first, right? You need new customers, you need new business, but there's one thing that you need on top of that. In order to get the new business, you need one thing, which is leads. And that's what I love LinkedIn about. LinkedIn, I think it's got, as Shane said, it's got 500,000 people on there, and Jonathan, it's got 500,000 people, or excuse me, 500 million people, 500 billion people on there. It's 500 million people. Guess what, guys? That's a ton of people that you can really tap into. And for most businesses, guys, leads are like oxygen. So this is why LinkedIn is so important, because LinkedIn is really a mecca for huge high value leads. So let me dive into that. I'm just going to skip a couple of slides here so we can dive into the power of LinkedIn, right? Here's why they're more valuable than any other leads. They're business people. They're professionals, okay? People there are more serious than any other platform, and they're higher net worth contacts. And you get access to decision makers, okay? And overall, it's a B2B focus. There are some applications for B2C, right? But primarily, it's a B2B type platform, okay? And so we'll dive more into that a little bit. But I want everybody, Jonathan shared some really awesome statistics, okay? And right now, we're kind of painting the reason why you really want to focus on LinkedIn. The strategies are really important, but first you have to understand why it's so important, right? As Jonathan said, 500 million people on LinkedIn. But here's the thing, LinkedIn's growing faster than ever before. Every second, 2 people join LinkedIn. Okay, this is huge. Now, the other thing, this was mind-blowing when I first got on LinkedIn, is that the average salary is literally double that of any other social media website. What you really need to know is that your average member on LinkedIn has twice the purchasing power of any other social media website. This makes a big deal for you because when you're trying to close a deal and the person makes more money, they've got more money and cash to spend with you, it's going to be easier to close deals. And I don't know about you guys, but I like to make it easy on myself when it comes to doing business and doing commerce. I don't like to make it as difficult as possible, and you shouldn't either. Okay? Now I'm going to share a simple formula on why LinkedIn connections are so valuable. I want you guys to write this down. This is so pivotal. It's so key. Okay. Now, as Jonathan stated, LinkedIn got bought by Microsoft. Now, there is, at the time, $26.2 billion cash purchase price. But do the math. 450 million users at that exact moment. Okay. So if you do the math, $26.2 billion cash purchase price, 450 million users, that means that each connection is worth $58.20. Okay? So if that means if you have 100 connections, the value is 5,800. If you have 1,000 connections, the value is 58,000. And if you have 10,000 connections, the value is over $500,000. Now, 30,000 connections is the most that you can have. Okay? 30,000 connections, write that down, by the way, because that's important to know. People, if you want to make a comparison on Facebook, you can only have 5,000 friends. Meanwhile, on LinkedIn, you can have 6 times that. You can have 30,000 connections. That means, though, the value of your profile, if you have 30,000 connections, $1.7 million. Now, that's according to Microsoft. Okay? But it's not just true of large corporations. I want to show you why this is not just true of large corporations. I want to introduce you to John Fish. John Fish had a medical product company, and at the beginning, he only had 20 connections, right? Which is, well, I mean, a lot of people have 20 connections, right? A lot of people have actually under 500 connections. If you've never used it, what's the point of getting connections, right? What's the deal there? Well, here's the big part about John. He actually learned how to monetize his connections, which I think is the most important part. He went from 5 distributors in his medical product company, okay, to well over that, to 70. Now, what happened is he was able to develop $80,000 per month in revenue from those distributors, which are basically like salespeople for him. And he is now projecting 6 figures per month in revenue in the next 90 days. Now, here's what's important about all of this, right? Obviously, the revenue is important. But by using LinkedIn, it saved 10 years worth of work in prospecting for him. Because you got to imagine, like, going from 5 to 70, I mean, that would have taken him a long time had he been resorting to cold calling or going to events like national events, dropping anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000 to $10,000 per event just to meet these people, right? Or cold calling, which is not effective. So it really helped him save that much time. Now, let me talk about another person. His name's Isaac. Now, Isaac went from being practically broke to having his first 10K a month. Now, he's 26 years old. So you can imagine 10K a month is great for anybody. But if you're 26 years old, just imagine how awesome that is, right? Certainly making more than your average friend that you graduated with college with. So this is why LinkedIn is so important. This is the reason. I want to share with you another kind of success story. Peter Hunley, he used LinkedIn to build a list. For some of you guys that want to go out there and build a list, we taught him how to use LinkedIn to grow his connections. He built a list of 25,000. Now you got to imagine, having a list is like an asset, right? Most people don't look at LinkedIn as an asset. Now here's why LinkedIn's an asset. It's not a fad. It's not going anywhere. Okay, you guys remember not too long ago when getting Facebook's likes was all the rage? Yeah, I remember that too. And in fact, I spent a bunch of money on Facebook getting likes because I thought, wow, okay, this has got to be a way to get new business. Now, here's what happened. We got 0 business from it. And it's kind of depressing because we thought, oh man, this is going to be great. But a lot of people did that. Now, the only way for us to get in front of the people that like our Facebook page is to advertise to them. So this amounted to, and this is not talked about very much, this amounted to one of the biggest ripoffs that ever happened in all of social media history. Because you bet that billions and billions of dollars got spent on getting likes, and that went to what? Nothing. For a lot of people like us. And maybe you experience that too. Yet all along, LinkedIn has been making people money, and it's always going to be there. And like suddenly, if the internet went away, yes, we'd have bigger problems, right? And then LinkedIn wouldn't be there, but you wouldn't really care about LinkedIn at that point. But guess what? As long as the internet exists, LinkedIn's always going to be there. You're going to have your LinkedIn profile. You're going to have it from now. You're going to have it in 20 years. So I want you to start looking at it as an asset, because when you use it correctly, and I'm not talking about connecting with your coworkers or your college buddies or your family members, right? I'm talking about connecting to your real prospects. And if you take a look at your LinkedIn profile right now, you'll notice that there's a lot of people in there that aren't your direct prospects. No wonder you haven't seen LinkedIn as an asset, because it just looks like another Facebook, right? But a less social Facebook, maybe one, something that you're not doing anything with. But I guarantee this, if you start using LinkedIn in the right way, then it's really actually going to serve you all your life. If suddenly you have a list of 1,000 of your perfect prospects in your LinkedIn profile that you can reach out to whenever you want, now you've got something there. Okay. Now, I just wanted to share a couple of things. I'm pretty much out of time right now, but I want to share with you a place where you can actually go get additional training. Okay. So I'm going to put a link on the screen. Jonathan, if you want me to go over anything else, okay, I'd be happy to do so, but I know we've got kind of a specific time crunch here. So what I want to do is give them a place where they can go get more information, if that's okay with you, Jonathan.
That's fantastic. You go ahead and share those links.
Okay, perfect. So I'm going to give this link to you. Now, this is special. This is just for everybody here, okay? And it's I'm going to share this on the screen, socialbff.com/bootcamp. We're getting that live right now. Write this down, okay? Social BFF. Actually, let me give you the right version of it. It's not socialbff.com. I just put this together because I knew, like, we're talking about LinkedIn, but I knew there was going to I knew there's going to be some more questions after this. So here's the link, socialbff.io/bootcamp. I just put this together, so we're getting it live right now. And there you will be able to get a free version. You're going to get two things. Number one, you're going to get training, okay, on LinkedIn. So we're going to take it farther, right? Because what I just shared with you is just the tip of the iceberg, right? Because there's so much more that you want to learn. You want to learn how to get your next client in the next 30 days. And that's what we're really going to teach you. Now, we're also going to give you a piece of software that's going to make your life so much easier. Right? If you're on here, this is some new technology. We're coming to you. We're live. We're streaming on social media, right? We're connected all over the country, all over the world. You've got Jonathan in London. You got Shane over here in Texas. I'm in Mexico City, right? So everybody's coming in from different places all across the world. And at the end of the day, that's what technology does. So we're going to give you a piece of technology that actually allows you to take this even further. So it's called socialbff.io/bootcamp. We're going to give you a piece of tech that's going to help you with LinkedIn and make your life so much simpler. So with that being said, I'm going to turn it back over to Jonathan, who's going to take it away, but really happy giving you guys some education. But what I want you to know is that there's so much more to be had on LinkedIn. Okay. Don't just listen to this and do nothing with it, right? Take the next step so that way you can actually
take action.
Take action. So that way you can rank among the small percentage of people that are actually crushing it. Remember, guys, billions of dollars of commerce are being done on LinkedIn every year. You don't ever hear about this stuff, but it is. And these are big deals. And guess what? You want to have your own piece of the pie. So, Jonathan, back over to you.
Fantastic. Guys, I want you guys to do something right now. Make sure you take down that link about BFF Social, the software and the training that Cory talked about. He has been helping businesses for years. That was an incredible teaching. Thank you very much, Cory, for that. Connect with him on LinkedIn. Connect with him on Facebook. He's on there. He will help you out. If you need leads, you're struggling with leads and clients, LinkedIn is the solution for you. You've just heard him speak about what you can do and the actions you can take. Listen, go connect with this guy. Thank you very much, Cory.